But first, MPs say urgent action's needed to stop companies enforcing discriminatory dress codes for women, according to MPs. A report out today reveals that while it's already illegal for firms to insist that women wear high heels, the practice is still widespread. They want tougher laws and fines for firms who break the rules. Francesca Carpenter has more.
High heels in the office, fashion statement or workplace requirement. Do you think about wearing heels to work?
I choose to myself. I'm surprised it still happens that people are forced to.
I definitely complain. I wouldn't be happy about it. It's not the kind of job I want anyway.
I quite like wearing heels. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel sort of like on top of my sort of as best as I can be.
I couldn't deal with it. If someone told me I had to wear heels and do that, I'd cry.
But when Nicola Thorpe arrived at work in flats last year, she was sent home without pay. After refusing to wear high heels, her story hit the headlines. Now MPs say the government should do more to ban sexist dress codes at work.
If it's causing you a problem and you can't walk at the end of the day because you've worn these high heels, or if your skin is coming out in blotches because you can't wear makeup, we have to address that.
Today's report has found hundreds of women have been told to wear heels, dye their hair and wear makeup at work. But this firm in London says appearance is important.
You've got to dress as if you care, and if that means that putting on a pair of heels, however big, makes you feel better and act differently, and therefore that will be reflected in the presentation that you're giving, then I think that's appropriate.
Nicola's petition is calling on the government to make it illegal for employers to ask women to wear high heels at work. So far, it's collected more than 150,000 signatures and will be debated in Parliament in March. Francesca Carpenter, ITV News.
And from behind her laptop, straight into the studio, Nicola Thorpe is with me live, who began all of this. And she's joined there on the right of your screen by Petra Wilton from the Chartered Management Institute. MPs in that report have said that what they really want is that people who did what they did to you to be prosecuted.
Absolutely. As it stands, it costs about £1,200 to take an employer to tribunal. And that's money that I certainly couldn't afford and many women couldn't. And that process even takes 28 weeks. During that time, you'd still have to be wearing heels. So it's important that there is law reform. And if the law works in theory, it has to work in practice. Sure. That's what's paramount.
And that word practice is at the heart of it. So is it your view, then, that the MPs do need to beef up what, after all, is existing legislation? What happened to her is illegal, but it would have cost so much. Is that the bit that needs beefing up?
It is. It's about enforcing it, but it's also about getting really clear messages out to employers. This is the thin end of the wedge. We've just done a survey across members, and 4 out of 5 see discrimination, gender discrimination in the workplace. So it's not just wearing high heels, it's inappropriate comments, and then it comes all the way through to pay, promotion, and a whole range of other factors in the workplace. Yeah.
I mean, the thing I didn't know, because I read it in the newspapers and so on and so forth, but actually you and colleagues have made strong and serious arguments about health issues. And, and there are feet experts coming out in your support. Yeah. Talk me through that.
This to me was never just about high heels. It was a gender issue, but delving into the issue of high heels, physically, the issues that can come out of it in terms of foot, back problems, headaches, migraines, was extensive. If you have a look at the report, which is readily available for the public. Yeah. And it's also discriminatory against women who have got perhaps disabilities and aren't able to walk in high heels.
The other extraordinary thing about the story, and we were talking about it just before the cameras came to us live, as it were, Nicola was in that position because of an employment agency, whereas PricewaterhouseCoopers, who were the end employers, as it were not a party to it. So is it the agency world that needs the bigger shake-up, or are the big branded names like PwC in need of an elbow?
It is actually, unfortunately, both.
Across the board?
Across the board. I mean, PwC have done some fantastic work around tackling gender discrimination, so, you know, I wouldn't point the finger at them, but what we do see, it is rife across many organisations, and it's not just the agency worker, and we see it across all levels of management too, and it's almost condoned, so we need more people like Nicola to call it out and to actually share best practice on how you can challenge gender discrimination in the workplace. Literally, in a word, have you had an apology?
Not directly.
That's 4 words and it's a no. Nicola and Petra, thank you both very much indeed. A man celebrating his birthday with his wife has died in a suspected hit-and-run in Lancashire. The 63-year-old was walking near Fleetwood Golf Club when he was struck on Tuesday night. Police are calling for the driver who fled the scene to come forward. And MPs are warning postponing the introduction of a new radio system for the emergency services could cost £475 million a year.